Okay, I took apart the distributor and cleaned it all up. Turned out pretty well. These pieces down here. Got more pieces over here. Took this apart, cleaned that, cleaned the vac advance that seems to work, and I'll put in new points. So I hate about having 12 different projects at the same time. It's just a mess, but it's what I got to do. So anyway, I'm going to document how it goes back together. Okay, I did not take out this lower plate because it's, if you can see it in there, but it's splined, and I didn't want to get the rotation off if it matters. It probably doesn't, but just to be safe. Then I also am putting it back for the same reason, exactly how I took it apart. And there's a slight difference in this piece here. So this determines how the cap goes on, and there's a relationship between the cap and the offset cog down here. And so what I did is I have the narrow side of the cog. I got this handy diagram here. The narrow side to the left, and when it's that way, the key for the rotor, I should say, goes like this. And so I got to put the weights in first, of course, but that's my setup. I don't know if it was right coming apart, but I'm putting it back the way it was. Okay, the weights are in. I'm going to take them back out, put a little bit of grease under them just to have it nicely greased as I put it together. And then the next step will be to put this guy in, as I showed the orientation before. And those two pin-like things go in the holes of the weights. I remember when I took my TR3 apart, whoever put it together last time had missed on one of them. So you gotta be sure you get those in. This is the grease I'm using. It's almost like silicone spray. It's so thin. But I greased also those tabs because they rotate, and all this stuff scrapes on the weights, so I got that greased up. And then I have to check my orientation again, make sure I didn't rotate anything by 180 degrees, and I'll put this guy in. Okay, I have the weights in. I even kept the weights in the same position just in case. I don't think it matters, but and this, there's this 10 stamp there on mine. That is in line with the cut for the rotor, and that puts the smaller half circle of the drive to the left. So that's my orientation, taking it apart. Now I have to put the springs in, and those matter too. They're different sizes. I suppose it doesn't matter which one goes where, but again, I'm going to put it back as it came apart. Okay, the first spring is in. I even have the opening of the spring the same way as when it came out to this side, which that should really not matter at all, but trying to be very careful. One left. Both springs are in. This little dental tool really helps to get those springs hooked over their bosses. So I'm going to put a couple drops of oil down here. You're supposed to do that occasionally on your car to keep this loosened or lubricated. Okay, these two pieces go together fairly easily. Here's the spring that wipes on this edge, and you have to back out this point screw so it's not protruding, and then this can slip under there and snap in place. There's a hole for this boss, so I'll do that. There it is together, and you can see that when that screw is in, it stops this from rotating too far because it will hit in that area. And this is a ground connection to the side of the distributor. Condenser goes here, points under this guy. This is the post that the vac advance spring hooks onto. So I'll put this guy in next. Okay, so I put the screw in here as well. Wire brush this screw and the copper or contact area on the wire so that it'll make good connection, and also put in this screw over here. Okay, I've got the new condenser, new points in. It's going to put the wire in, but this is hanging by a thread at the end, so I'm going to get a new one of these guys that goes to the low tension side of the coil. It just snaps in here and then runs over to the points. But this is an excellent time to set the points because it's a lot easier to turn the distributor by hand than to turn the engine. So I'll set the points and be done until I get that new part. Of course, I forgot to put the VAC Advance unit in, but I was able to hook up the spring even though I had the points in and set. So now I put the spring and the adjuster nut on the end. Of course, after I put this together, I realized that there's supposed to be this little metal tanger in there to hold the knurled wheel from turning. I don't know if it was missing or if it fell out. I kind of forgot about it, so it may have fallen out. But fortunately, I had an old distributor I was able to rob one from. So take it apart one more time and put that guy in. He goes right above my finger so that this hits the notches or grooves in this wheel. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work. This has got a narrower opening than this one. So I put the spring back, but that spring won't fit in my distributor. So I have this, I think they call it a 25D, and this one is a, what is this? This is a DM2, I guess. So I guess I'm going to have to spend $15 to get that stupid little piece of metal, because I have to buy the kit, which is the knob, the spring, and that little clip. But otherwise, it's done for now.